Hello, Brian. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. I'm good.
Good, lovely to see you again.
Yeah,
For our weekly coaching session, you just before we went live, you gave me a heads up that you wanted to possibly bring in manifestation was on your mind this week,
yeah,
relationships, maybe they connected.
yeah. They could maybe probably connected at some point. With the manifestation, that's something that I've taken a great interest in for a while now, and and I've studied it, and I've tried to kind of master it, but I find myself, and I think we've talked about this in the past with impatience. Like I'm looking for results faster. Things are coming together in my life, and they're coming together pretty quickly. But there's still this part of me that's like wanting to speed up the process, and then that frustrates me at times.
Mhm.
Kind of give some examples in with of course I've got a podcast, and that podcast is gaining steam, and I'm getting more and more guests, and it's running like a business at this point. I've also recently started up my own coaching business. So after years of informally helping others, I'm just taking it more to a formal level now. And so I'm getting that started, which was part of my manifestation effort to get those two things going. I've also got a couple other podcasts in the works. So everything's coming together, but I feel almost like it's not coming together quickly enough for me, because there's things that I want to be able to walk away from and focus all my energies on the creative efforts that I've got going on. But there's kind of a line to where I have to get to this point before I can close those doors.
Right.
And and so as I think about manifestation and the impatience that I've had with it, I'm kind of stuck in this perpetual loop of um, happy with the results, but wanting to move faster, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. What I'm hearing is that there's
Mm.
an urgency to actually be somewhere else, and there's things in your way that aren't allowing you to get there. It's kind of like I feel like you scrambling. I'm doing this podcast, and the coaching business, and I want to be there already. But what's in the way is actually my job, and which I want to get rid of, the current job I have, and also I really want to be there. And we've spoken about this before, a sense of not being settled in the
Mm.
here and now, and being just here where you are and where I believe you're supposed to be right now.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Because you're
Yeah,
nodding like, yeah, I'm not
yeah,
happy.
I definitely relate to that. And there are times where I'm present in the here and now, and it is satisfying. But yeah, there's I
Can
have
you tell me about those times? When are you here and now?
usually usually I give myself at a minimum an hour in the evenings, as I kind of wrap up my day. I take an hour, even sometimes 2 hours, depending on how quickly I want to go to bed. But I'll take that time to just really reflect upon the day, reflect upon where I'm at, and I can find peace in that moment. I can find the peace that I'm looking for, and in the happiness. Um, and
In the period of reflection, that's
yeah,
where you're happy. Not the content, but that period of your day. That's
yeah.
2 hours. Mhm.
Well, thinking about the day, I mean, yeah, as I reflect on the day, I find myself um, I find myself in a good place. I'm happy with the progress I've made. I almost give myself, kind of the pat on the back, say job well done. But during the course of the day, as I'm going, go go go, that's where I start to feel not really overwhelmed, but I start to get impatient. Like, man, if I could just get this to the next level, then it's going to make life a lot easier.
Mm, I like that. Can
And
we pause there a minute?
Mhm.
If I could just get there, life would be easier. What else would life be? What else would you feel if we could just get there?
I mean, I think there would be a sense of joy because I'm able to close doors that I want to close and move on from. Um,
So you'd
you know,
be happy.
yeah. So happy, be living my purpose full time instead of part time. Um, it would just, I have an aspiration to move to a certain place, a certain area of the United States that I want to live. Of course, I do have commitments. I'm full time employed on top
Mhm.
of what I'm doing in my spare time. So I want to flip that, right? I want to be full time in my creative space as a creator, as a coach, and
Mhm.
so yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm just stretching myself out and being so
Right.
busy that it's causing those feelings to drum up because like I said, at the end of the night when I'm just kind of quiet and I'm letting myself just be in the moment, I'm pretty happy. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm not unhappy. I'm happy with the results.
Right. So they're
Yeah.
kind of like two things I'm hearing. One is you have a goal. When you
Hmm.
reach that goal, whatever it is, you'll be happy and more fulfilled and living your purpose and your creative juices will be flowing.
Hmm.
And what I like to offer is that a goal is not a place to get to, a goal is a place to come from.
Hmm.
So if you start showing up as happy, fulfilled, creative, in whatever it is you're doing, even in the job you really want to leave behind, if there's a little bit of meaning you could find, a little bit of creativity, because this is where you are now. If you can start showing up like that already, then you're already attracting that in the universe. Does that make sense? That a goal is not a place to get to, it's a place to come from. If I want a more intimate relationship, and because then I'll be happier and more fulfilled, I need to show up like that already now because other people aren't going to be attracted to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Um, I think, yeah, it definitely is going to take some practice. I'm going to have to really be intentional with it for a while to get it. Because it's not necessarily that I'm unhappy. It's just yeah, I'm outpacing my own self.
It's
Uh,
something that sort of gnaws at you, it sounds like. It's
yeah,
an irritation, it's like a thorn.
yeah,
It's
kind of like a
there.
thorn. Yeah, it's kind of like having to get through the weeds to get to that big open space, and I'm just in a hurry to get through the
That
weeds.
might or might not be out there.
Right,
It's
right.
because this is your journey. So if we were to wrap this up, if you're good to wrap this up,
Mhm.
what's one thing you could do this week?
Well, I like what you said in that a goal is not something or some place that we're going. It's something that we're living. So I'd like to try to incorporate that philosophy into my day and look at it as I'm living my dreams
Beautiful.
and my ambitions now, and it will get better or bigger as I move forward. But I can't lose sight of the things that I'm doing now to get to where I want to go. And I think that's, as we've talked, I think that's where I've kind of lost some sight, is that I'm so busy trying to get to the end result so that I can establish new goals and keep pushing, that I'm forgetting about what I'm accomplishing, except for in that final hour of the day when I reflect, and so I think I need to be reflecting more throughout the day,
Right.
and being proud of the results that I've achieved, rather than just focused on I'm stuck, or I'm not really stuck, but there's
You
still.
said something very powerful.
Mm,
You said, I want to get there so that I can get there so that I can get there. So it
yeah,
seems like there is also going to bring about whatever there is, this dissonance. I'm not happy here now. Now I've got to get there. Now I've got to get that. There will always be this isn't the right place for me.
right.
And when you said I could take upon reflecting about, I am living my dream life right now, that's very beautiful. How do
Yeah.
you feel as we come to the end of our time?
I feel good. I feel like I have an idea of what I need to do here in the next, 7 days, and what I need to reflect on, kind of change that aspect of my mind, and give myself more credit and kudos throughout the day for accomplishing the things that I'm accomplishing, and just not lose sight on the fact that I am living my dreams. Even though there's a bigger picture to it, I've got to remember that I am living. I'm able to help people now. I'm able to do the things I want to do now, and it will
Beautiful.
only get better as I go. So
Exactly. That's beautiful. Do
yeah.
you feel complete for now?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel like I have an idea of how to approach the week, kind of visualizing the timeline in my head. So yeah, I think I'm good. I'd like to give that a try and see how it ends up here in the next 7 days.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's great. So, Brian, we were just talking about your sense of what it is, what manifestation looks like, what it means to accomplish your dreams. And you were saying that, you have dreams of creating more podcasts and serving more people in your coaching practice,
Mhm.
which is coming together, which is so lovely. And you
Yeah,
are working towards that and possibly giving up the job you have today and going full time into those areas of your life.
right.
How was it what we spoke about? We spoke about coming from a place of a goal is not a place to get to, but rather a place to come from, to show up already,
Hmm.
as if you had created with that happiness and that joy that you feel you're looking for somewhere else. How was
Yeah,
it for you?
I had never really thought of a goal in that way before. I've always kind of thought of it as a destination or a milestone. So I've never had it explained to me that way, to say, hey, look at it now. Um, you're living your goals as you take steps. You're living your goals. So that's interesting. And it kind of triggered something in my head to think, well, yeah, wait a second. I hadn't thought about it that way. That you don't have to be living a separate life until you get to your goal. You can be living your goal and letting it grow as you grow. So yeah, and I think even that lends itself when we talk about manifestation. When you're truly living in the moment and recognizing what you're doing as fulfillment, um, that's going to give, I believe it may give me the motivation to continue to do a little bit more each day, because I don't have that moment of frustration where it's like, man, this just isn't happening fast enough.
You've
So
changed your mindset, is what you're saying. Instead of it being an urgency now,
yeah,
this is what is. This
yeah, and
is
it's
the path.
it's pretty amazing how quickly you can flip a switch in the mind, because I mean, just for me, looking at it as being impatient trying to get to a destination, now I'm seeing it in a whole different light, which may to some people may seem kind of like, whoa, whatever, but no, I mean, literally, it once you said that, my mind literally stopped and said, yeah, like, wait a minute, you're not it's a good point. Like, you're living your goal right now. I've accomplished so much, since the first of the year, um, and it's all part of the same goal. It's just getting bigger and bigger as the days go, or it's there's more to my ambitions as the days go by. So
I
yeah,
love that looking back that you just described. When I look back to 6 months ago when I started this journey,
mhm.
wow, I've gone high up the mountain. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a great way to think about looking at it, and I'm looking forward to doing that throughout the week, and just really seeing the achievements and the things that I'm accomplishing now, rather than focusing on the achievements and what I want in 6 months from now, even, or a year from now.
Mm,
Let them unfold naturally, organically in the moment. So yeah,
great.
very
Great.
very
Great
interesting concept.
reflection.
Yeah.
Thank you.